What's up mga ka-try? It's another Wednesday morning at magkakasama na naman tayo to talk about our favorite topic, food. Handa ka na bang matakam mga ka-try? I am your host Jesh and this is another episode of TryPH Media's Try to Taste. So mga ka-try, once again, welcome to TryPH Media's Try to Taste at ito na yung ating pang-11th na episode. Can you believe it? Let's start off the show by congratulating yung mga naging winners ng ating giveaway with cheesy twists. Once again, Miss Sarah, thank you for making the giveaway possible. Marami sa atin mahilig sa iba't ibang klase ng mga cuisine. Yung galing sa iba't ibang mga bansa, iba-ibang mga cultures. There's Korean food, there's Japanese food, there's American food, at marami pang iba. But one thing that's often overlooked para sa ating mga Pilipino pa, yung Filipino cuisine. Today, we'll be talking about Filipino cuisine. Yes, Filipino cuisine. Bakit pa ba naman tayo lalayo? Filipino cuisine pa lang, ang dami na nating makikitang iba't ibang klaseng mga pagkain, diba? There is more sa Filipino cuisine na hindi pa natin na-explore mga ka-try. Today is a special episode mga ka-try. We will be diving into Filipino cuisine and we have a very special guest with us. He might be familiar with a lot of you, mga ka-try, and he'll be giving us yung kanyang insights on Filipino cuisine. Mga ka-try, it is my privilege and an honor for me to present to you our guest for today's show. Today, we have a very special guest, mga ka-try. It is my honor and my privilege to present to you our guest, Chef Sharwin. He was a host ng show na Curiosity Got the Chef. This is actually something that my dad and I used to watch noon, and I'm really excited about this interview. So, wag na natin patagalin mga ka-try. Let's watch this pre-recorded interview with Chef Sharwin as we talk about Filipino cuisine. So, first of all, thank you, Chef Sharwin, for giving us a bit of your time ngayon. We're so happy to have you, and we're actually really honored to have you here dito sa Try to Taste.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting.
So today, we will be talking about Filipino cuisine. So, gusto naming makuha po yung insights niya about Filipino cuisine. So, first question po. Can you describe po yung Filipino cuisine? What makes it unique sa ibang mga cuisine po?
Well, I think there's many ways to describe Filipino cuisine. Actually, it's like I always say, it's quite unfair to try to answer what Filipino cuisine is in just one sentence or two sentences, no? Kasi it's tremendously complicated. So the easiest way to describe Filipino cuisine correctly, in my opinion, is it's farm-to-table cuisine. Meaning, before farm-to-table became a movement, became a buzz phrase, Filipino cuisine was already doing farm-to-table, no? And hyper-local. So, yung farm-to-table and hyper-local are two buzz phrases na Western media loves to use, no, as the new way of being socially responsible, environmentally responsible. So yan yung uso ngayon sa Western cuisine. The funny thing is, we've been doing that before anyone else, no. Actually, lahat ng indigenous peoples around the world do the same thing, which is hyper-local, meaning you use whatever is not just in your province, but what's in your backyard. So, we're not just talking about local. Talagang local na local, no? As in, kayo yung nagplant, kayo din yung kakain. And then, farm to table, meaning we use very little processed products. We use very little imported products, no? So, so that's what Filipino cuisine really is, no? Alam ko most people would love to define Filipino cuisine as a mixture of Chinese, Spanish, and American cuisine, which is not necessarily true all the time, right? That's partly true, but not always true. But what is true with our dishes is lahat ng dishes natin is always originally hyper-local. Kung ano yung nasa bakuran mo, yun yung ginagamit mo.
Ayun. So, the original farm to table pala, parang ganun po yung Filipino cuisine.
Yeah, that's and I'm not saying that's uniquely Filipino because most indigenous peoples of the world are like that. The First Nations people of Canada, the Maoris of New Zealand, the Aboriginal tribes of Australia, it's the same. Lahat ng original people, ganun talaga kumain. And that's our cuisine. And I think it never really changed. You know, if you look at our cuisine, every dish is interchangeable. So walang mali, no? So what do I mean by that? So let's say adobo. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na ang adobo is a chicken stew.
Yes.
You can't say it's a pork stew. No, it's a vinegar stew. So, kumbaga parang kung ano yung mahanap mo, yun yung i-adobo mo. So, so yun yung what makes our cuisine well, I wouldn't say unique, but very Filipino is that it's interchangeable.
Oh, yes. Oo nga pa, no? That's one of the things that we love about Filipino ngayon. Parang Filipino cuisine, di ba? Parang kung anong nasa kitchen mo, you can make it to whatever, like adobo. Parang there is a variety of adobo, pero merong para sa mga, meat eaters din, pwede din sa mga non-meat eaters. So it's really nice. So thank you so much for that, Chef Sharwin. Sobrang very enlightening sinabi niya about Filipino cuisine. And matanong lang po kayo, what is your favorite Filipino dish?
Well, mahirap yan, no? It's like you're asking a dad who his favorite kid is. But I have, I guess, I've said it before, no? Yung parang pork barbecue feeling ko is the, well, una-una, I can eat pork barbecue every day. But also, it has, I think, the properly made pork barbecue has the 5 tastes. No, it's sweet, it's salty, it's sour, it's bitter, and it's spicy. So, for me, yan ang, hindi naman perfect, but that's the closest, I think, to, So, pork barbecue is my favorite.
So, yun na. Meron na kaming bagong standard ngayon for, judging barbecue. Dapat meron yung 5.
Chef Sharwin, in your opinion po, Chef, which is the most underrated Filipino dish that you wish to raise awareness for?
Okay. So marami pa, no? Kasi generally when we talk about Filipino cuisine, it's very Luzon-centric, no? So maraming Visayas and Mindanaoan dishes na hindi na pag-uusapan. So I'd like to shine the spotlight on, actually marami, but siguro for one, yung sinuglaw. I want to shine the spotlight on sinuglaw because I think it's one of the strangest combinations ever, but it's also one of the most delicious dishes ever. So, ang sinuglaw is a combination of sinugba and kinilaw. So, you have kinilaw na isda and then it's topped with sinugbang baboy, which is grilled liempo. So, I haven't seen this kind of combination in a lot of cuisines abroad, no? Meaning, may hilaw na dish ka and then it's topped with a grilled dish. Tapos it's pork and fish, no? So it's very different. And but again, yung combinations niya really work, no? Kasi you have the lean fish and then it's very sour and then meron kang very fatty, very oily grilled naman na pork, no? So feeling ko it balances each other out, makes each other better. So yun, that's the dish that feeling ko not enough people talk about.
Nakakagutom naman yung chef.
Doing my job kung nagugutom ka.
Kaya nga, Chef, yung mga post mo pa lang sa IG, talagang nakakagutom na. So, Chef, how will Filipino food will become the next big thing? Or like other cuisines like Italian, Japanese, and Korean? How will Filipino food will be the next big thing?
It's... Unang-una, I would like to correct the idea of the next big thing. No? Kasi, for me, it's who decides who the next big thing is, no? Parang we're always so concerned with what Westerners think about our food. So we always wonder, kailan kaya tayo yung magiging sa kanila, no? Accepted sa kanila. So I think one of the things na we have to realize is we have to make our cuisine stronger by ourselves. No? And then when our cuisine is flourishing, alive and flourishing, that's when other cultures will take notice. So if you take a look at, for example, Korean cuisine, okay, so yung kimchi, mabaho yan, right? Like, essentially, kimchi is panis na gulay. Okay, parang buro natin is panis na kanin, di ba? So, it was very difficult for the Westerners to accept what kimchi is, no? But all of the Korean immigrants in all of the westernized countries, they would either make their own or they would buy kimchi in the house. So there's very rarely a Korean immigrant, for example, na walang kimchi sa bahay, right? So and for years, niloloko sila ng mga neighbors nila, ng mga classmates nila. Ano ba yan? Ang baho ng pagkain mo, ganyan, right? But look at where Korean cuisine is now, right? There's a Korean restaurant on almost every corner of New York, for example, right? So I think really the way to ma-accuse ako ng magiging hugot dito, but it's like love, no? You have to love yourself before others can love you. So ganun din yung cuisine natin. We have to make our cuisine strong and accepted before others will come and accept it. And so, ang number one issue on why we're not the next big thing, I'll tell you, unfortunately, is ourselves. So, twofold yan, no? I got to work with a lot of Filipino-American chefs in the US, for example. And they're bringing Filipino cuisine to the forefront. So, unfortunately, dumating yung COVID pandemic. But before the COVID pandemic happened, Filipino cuisine was getting more and more popular by the day, no? So, like for example, noong 2016, I was in Chicago. Nagluluto ko para sa Cultura Festival, no? So, noong 2016, I think there was about 500 people, no? More than half are not Filipino that came and bought our food, bought our pins, clothes, bracelets, everything. No? So alam mo nang may interest na in Filipino culture. Then bumalik ako noong 2017. Nagka-problema, no? Heat wave, sirang aircon, but there were still the same amount of people. No? So ibig sabihin, yung hindi sila na-discourage. So talagang nagkaroon ng interest. And then I come back the following year, and there were over 1,200 people that came. No? So, talagang every year nakikita mo, lumalakas talaga yung interest in Filipino food. And every year that I went to the States, parami yung Filipino restaurants. Now, the common question that I asked them is, who do you encounter any problems, no? Yeah, in the reception of the food? And the common answer is, ang pinakamaraming complaint sa Filipino restaurants are Filipinos themselves. No, because ang sasabihin nila is, hindi naman ganito yung luto ng lola ko. Hindi naman ganito yung luto ng tita ko. So, bakit ako magbabayad ng $20 para sa adobo? 'Di ba? Adobo lang 'yan. Right? So, which is very ironic kasi yung adobo na $20 is punong-puno ng baboy, ng chicken, right? And it's cooked for an hour, 2 hours, right? So kung isipin mo, sulit yung $20 compared to magbabayad ka ng $20 para sa carbonara. Okay, so carbonara is flour, water, and egg, right? Anong mas mura, flour, water, egg, or chicken and pork, right? So, kumbaga yung mentality is kaya ko to gawin sa bahay, so ayaw ko tong bayaran. So, kung tayo mismo, ayaw natin supportahan yung mga restaurants na yun abroad, right? Then it's not going to flourish. So, let's be honest, no, kahit gaano tayo kagaling dito sa Pilipinas, I mean, maraming magaling na chefs here, both young and old, no, that are pushing Filipino food beyond what I imagined it could be. But we're not cooking abroad every day, right? So the key talaga to push Filipino cuisine to the world is really the Filipinos abroad. Right? So, kailangan natin tanggapin yon. So, but the mentality is, hindi totoo yung Filipino yan kasi hindi marunong magtagalog. Hindi totoong Filipino dish yan kasi may halo ng ibang ingredient na wala naman sa Pilipinas. But remember, kanina, I defined Filipino cuisine as using what you find in your backyard. So, for example, kung nasa States ka and gagawa ka ng sinigang, instead of pilitin mong bumili ng sinigang mix, right? Naghanap ka ng ibang sour fruit. So, for example, rhubarb. Ang rhubarb is very sour. Looks like celery pero pula. So, it's very sour. You can use that to make sinigang. Kung season ng rhubarb sa States, pwede kang gumawa ng rhubarb sinigang. So, instead of ang reaction natin is wala namang rhubarb sinigang, peke yan. Dapat sampalok o kaya santol o kaya kamya. Pero sa kanila, that's what's in their backyard.
What's
so
available.
If they cook rhubarb, that's real Filipino cuisine kasi they cook from their backyard. So, feeling ko yun yung key eh. Kailangan supportahan natin yung mga sisters, brothers natin sa abroad. When they try to take steps to make Filipino cuisine, we have to support them. No? If masarap naman yung pagkain and may Filipino spirit in food, we should support them.
So talagang love your own. It has to start with us.
Yeah, because it's really the reality kasi is like, for example, in Thai cuisine, kaya yan naging super popular in the States. Yun yung dream ko, by the way, no? Kasi sa States, when they talk about, what do you want to eat today? They say, do you want some, and then blank. Yung blank is nationality. You want Italian today? You want Thai today? Yeah. So, ang dream ko is magkaroon ng isang time na yung mga tao, do you want Filipino today? Right? So, the reason why yung Thailand naging ganon is because they made Thai food that is popular to the US. Okay, so popular to Americans. So, anong ginawa nila? Pad Thai, Tom Yum, curry. Right? These 3 dishes lang. Ginawa nila, binawasan nila yung anghang, dinagdagan nila yung konting tamis, dinamihan nila yung karne, patok sa US yun. So, ayun yung mga gusto ng US eh. Matamis, maraming karne, hindi masyado maanghang. Right? So, nung pag tinanong mo yung mga Thai, sasabihin nila, hindi lang naman yun yung cuisine namin eh. 'Di ba? Hindi naman matamis ang curry namin. True, pero gusto mong ibenta sa US, right? So you have to change the taste. Right? So I think that's what we need to understand. So when we go abroad and when we eat in Filipino restaurants, that's not for you. That food is for them. Right? So, I mean, can you imagine gagawa ka ng laing na super anghang na talagang Bicolano style. Tapos dadalhin mo siya sa France. Walang kakain yun kasi hindi nila kaya nung anghang. Like, they literally cannot take spice. Right? Yung lalo na yung old school French. Hindi sila mahilig sa maanghang kasi feeling nila nasusunog yung dila nila. Hindi mo natitikman yung food. Right? So, the initial start is bibigyan mo sila ng something that's familiar to them. That's why ang 3 most popular dishes ngayon, Filipino dishes in the States, is not adobo, it's not sinigang, it's not pinakbet, which is, I think, the 3 most important dishes. But ang pinakasikat sa kanila is lumpiang Shanghai, sisig, at saka lechon. Okay? Kasi these are familiar things to them, no? Ang lumpiang Shanghai is spring rolls, madaling intindihin. There's meat inside, it's crunchy. Yung sisig, kaya sumikat yan kasi ang sisig nila hindi puro tenga. Ang sisig sa States, maraming pork belly. So it gets really crunchy and then they add egg, they add mayo. So it's a familiar taste, no? Nung pumasok yung senior sisig sa San Francisco, ginawa nila, nilagay nila yung sisig sa burrito, right? Which is how we eat. May kanin, may sisig. Pareho lang pinalot lang nila, right? But again, it's familiar to the US. It's crunchy, it's pork, and then there's rice. Okay, benta sa kanila. Lechon, malutong yung skin. It's malambot yung meat. It's easy to understand. So, yun yung kailangan natin i-accept. If we want Filipino food to be popular elsewhere, we have to accept na it has to change. It can't be what our lola made. Because if gusto mo kumain ng pagkain ng lola mo, kumain ka sa lola mo. Yun lang yung
I understand, Chef, kasi ganun din naman, di ba, when Korean food went dito sa Pilipinas, kung yung talagang authentic, it's too spicy for most. So, ina-adjust din nila sa Filipino taste. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, okay lang pala na medyo mag-adjust kasi it's for them naman.
And truly, the spirit of Filipino cuisine is adjustment, no? Yun talaga yung spirit ng food natin. Kasi we're always, di ba, we always claim to be very hospitable. Well, kung hospitable talaga tayo, bakit tayo gagawa ng dish na, hindi, ito yung dish, kailangan ito, traditional, kailangan gustuhan. Hindi tayo ganun, di ba? Uy, sana magustuhan mo. Di ba, ganun tayo lagi. So, that means we adjust our food. Right? So, dapat adjustable ang food natin.
I like that. It's also being hospitable kapag ina-adjust din natin sa kanila. I really like that. Thank you, Chef. So, last question po for today. Ano po yung advice na ibibigay niyo sa mga aspiring chef na gustong maging expert sa Filipino cuisine?
Okay, number one, you can never be an expert in Filipino cuisine. Sasabihin ko na sa inyo yan. I've been cooking since 2004. So, and I've been lucky to be able to travel to a lot of places in the Philippines and learn the cuisine. And the one thing I've learned is that every day you go out, you will learn something new. So there is no such thing as an expert in Filipino cuisine. Kasi there's always going to be that one dish or that one technique or that one story that you don't know about yet. So, ang advice ko, if you want to learn Filipino cuisine, is number one, you have to be open. No? So, taste everything. So, kailangan tikman mo lahat. Kasi, marami tayong mga dishes dyan lalo na sa mga provinces, away from it. So, the further away you go from Manila, the more unfamiliar the food will be. And that's a good thing. You should be tasting these things. The more surprised you are, the more strange you find it, the more you learn, no? Now, it doesn't mean na kung pumunta ako ng Mindanao, natuto ako ng pianggang na yung lulutuin ko. It could be na yung story behind the pianggang will encourage me to do something else. Pero may parang inspiration from that. So my advice is you go out, you take in, hindi ngayon kasi MECQ. But when you have the chance, no, just learn as much as you can. It doesn't mean you have to use it kaagad. Just keep learning and then put it in your mind, the encyclopedia niya sa mind mo, and then it will come out later when you start cooking. No? So it's not really just about tasting. No? Ako, whenever I taste a new dish sa province, I also ask the people who made it, like, number one, ano ba to? Bakit ganito yung pagkagawa nyo? Bakit ganito yung ingredients na ginamit nyo? Bakit may pait? Gusto nyo ba ng pait dito? Gusto nyo ba ng asim dito? Bakit, no? So, the more you ask about the why, the more you will understand the food. Siyempre, yung how, normal na yun. No? We always ask, how do you make this? Ano yung recipe? Ganyan. But I think the important question is why. Why do you do this? Why is this included? Why does this taste like this? That's when you will really understand what Filipino cuisine is. The why. Kasi lahat ng pagkain natin may kwento. Wala tayong pagkain na walang kwento. Like even your lola's dish. Pag ikukwento mo na sa, hindi, yung masarap yung dinuguan ng lola ko kasi ganito yung ginagawa niya. Di ba? Laging may why eh. And that why will open up your skills, no? Yung techniques mo, yung storytelling mo, yung everything will improve. Yun.
So it's understanding the why. Yun. Thank you so much.
I'd just like to invite everyone, lalo na yung mga gustong maging chef, to buy a copy of my book, So You Want to Be a Chef. Yan. So it's available in National Bookstore. And if you don't want to go out and you're in Metro Manila, you can actually have it delivered to your house. Just go to anvilpublishing.com or nationalbookstore.com. You can order my book there, and then I think they'll deliver for like a small fee. Para hindi na kayo lalabas ng bahay. And then for social media, I'd like to invite everyone to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chef Sharwin, so you can see it there. And then my YouTube channel is Chef Sharwin T. So I have cooking videos, but I also have a new YouTube show called Straight Guy K-Drama Reviews. So I review K-dramas for straight guys, so that if you want to convince your boyfriend, your husband, your cousins, and your brothers to watch K-drama, you can have them watch my videos first to see if is this particular K-drama good for straight guys or not. So yun, that's my new show. But my cooking videos din ako sa YouTube na. So it's a mix of these two things. So I'd like you guys to subscribe to my channel, Chef Sharwin.
Ayan. So mga ka-try, if you want to know more about mga recipes ni Chef Sharwin, check out his YouTube. Also, kung gusto nyo i-convince yung mga ayaw makinood sa inyo ng K-drama, have them watch his videos din. Thank you so much.
Maraming masarap na food sa K-drama.
So again, thank you so much, Chef Sharwin, for being with us here on TryPH Media.
Thank you for having me.
Hi. Once again, thank you so much, Chef Sharwin, for giving us a bit of your time para ma-interview ko about Filipino cuisine. Ang dami kong natutunan din, mga katry. Kayo din ba? So, Filipino cuisine pala is more than just yung mga araw-araw nating niluluto. There is so much more to it. And, mga katry, love your own. So, mga katry, if you want to know more about Chef Sharwin, please follow him on his social media pages. You can follow him on Instagram, on Twitter, and also he has a YouTube channel, so subscribe na din kayo, mga katry. Mga katry, if you want to know even more about Filipino cuisine, you can check out Chef Sharwin's TED Talk. So ayun, mga katry, nakatapos na naman tayo ng isa pang episode ng Try to Taste, and I gotta say, it was a really exciting one. So again, thank you, Chef Sharwin, for accommodating us for an interview. If this is your first time watching, maraming salamat po sa panonood ng Try to Taste. If you want to see more about our show, you can check out our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and also our website. Plus, do you want to be part of the TryPH Media family? TryPH Media is opening its doors para sa lahat na gustong maging official kachay. You can check out our website. So, syempre, like always, mga kachay, hindi natin palalagpasin ang isang show nang wala tayong binabate. So, ayun, mga kachay, I want to greet si Kuya Miko, si Ate Flora May, and another cute baby girl, Zia. Thank you po for always watching Try to Taste and sa palaging pagko-comment, Kuya. Thank you, ah. And also, I want to greet a happy 48th anniversary sa parents ni Miss Sem, who is the host of Try to Help, kasi it's their anniversary yesterday. So, happy anniversary po, and hello po sa buong Pascual family. So, this was another episode of TryPH Media, Try to Taste, mga katry. I am your host, Jesh. See you next Wednesday at 10 a.m.